Welcome back to On the Beat. Isaac here again this week with Patrick Wooten, the managing partner of Richard Schwartz and Associates. Always good to have you up here in Columbus.
Good to see you, Isaac.
Excellent. So last time we talked about some policy. This time around we're going to talk about a little more specifics with auto accidents.
Yes.
Unfortunately, if they do happen, and some common questions. The first one here is, you're in a wreck. My attorney says I'm being paid the policy limits, but what if I also want medical bills paid? How does that work?
It's a great question. So your insurance policy, liability coverage, is a contract between you and the insurance company. So you pay for $25,000, $50,000, whatever it may be. So if the adverse insurance company calls up Schwartz and Associates and says, hey, on Isaac's case, we have a $25,000 policy, we're offering it. That's all the insurance that's out there from that adverse insurance company.
That's all they're obligated to pay.
Because that's and it's not that plus your medical bills, that plus your lost wages. That is the total amount of insurance from adverse company X that we can get on your behalf.
Okay, so going back to this, I think we talked last time, we need extra coverages in order to compensate for additional bills.
Yes, that's exactly where you want to carry your uninsured or slash uninsured motorist coverage, so that we could then turn our attention to your own insurance company to try to make up the difference if you're not being made whole.
All right, so going back to the accident, now say there's multiple people involved and the insurance company says they're paying pro rata, which I'm not quite sure what that even means. So why don't you tell me and everybody else what that might mean?
Great question. Real world example I can give you is, had a family, so it was 6 people in an accident who were hit by the adverse, who had a minimal limits policy.
Okay, so 25.
25,000 slash 50. So total was $50,000 between the 6 injured people.
Okay.
So the insurance company literally said, here's our 50. You figure out how to split it up, because really the cases were worth more than $50,000. So
I see.
you get that at times, or there are times where the insurance company, you'll make the demand on everybody, and they come up with the formula and be like, well, Isaac's going to get $14,000. Keely's going to get $5,000, Blake's going to get, so they divide up the, $50,000. But again, they're trying to chop it up to get everybody something, but it may not make everyone whole.
So, they're using their best judgment, I guess,
yes,
or what they want to do to try to divide that up.
Yeah, they're hopefully getting it to where everyone will accept it so they can get a release from everybody.
All right, so the insurance company said the driver that hit me, of the car that hit me, was an excluded driver. All right, so what does that mean? I'm assuming they're immune?
It does.
Kind of?
You see that a lot in families, to where you'll have people live together and a parent will actually exclude a child or someone else that lives in the household with them from the policy.
Okay.
Which means that they're not covered. So you and I are roommates, brothers, live together, and I'm like, hey, exclude Isaac from my policy. He's a terrible driver, because it'll keep my rates lower. But unfortunately, if you go drive my car and get in a wreck, there's no insurance on my vehicle because you're excluded from the policy. So I wouldn't even
fall under the uninsured
wouldn't. There'd be nothing.
Oh.
So the person you hit would have no recovery against my insurance company, because there'd be no insurance on the vehicle.
Yikes. Pay attention to that one, y'all. So in a wreck, family doctor says they don't treat people who were in an accident. So I'm assuming we just go to another doctor. What does that work? How does that work?
Happens more often than you think. And I get it, doctors don't want to ultimately be deposed or get involved in an accident claim because they're worried about how they're going to get paid. That's the benefit of hiring Schwartz and Associates in our 44 years of doing this. We're familiar with statewide what doctors are willing to treat accident victims, and then have a niche, kind of just have a skill for treating them. So we're able to direct folks, to give them names and suggestions, because they can get well. Because at the end of the day, as I tell every client we have, your health is priority number one.
Absolutely.
We want them to get healthy, and it takes medical care to do that.
Yes, always taking care of the clients.
Yes.
Patrick, we sure appreciate your time. If you need any additional information, it is listed there on your screen. We're back after this.